And welcome back. Chris Sedenka with you here as we continue on this Monday edition of the PM Jam. We go back to the phones, and it is a pleasure to bring in from the Mateja Group, Keller Williams Realty, Jeff Mateja joining us now, one of our great partners. Jeff, always appreciate a few minutes. How you doing?
Hey, very good. Thanks, Chris.
And Jeff, as wild as this time has been, you guys have still been pretty much full out, haven't you?
It's been pretty crazy. Hectic. Seems like doing a little bit more work, but not quite business as usual. Still, people are certainly buying homes and selling their homes, so it's been good.
And what's interesting about it is, I was talking to you the other day, the whole idea of these virtual tours, and I think it just gives people, even if it is just a virtual tour, whatever the case might be, at least it gives people some sense of normalcy in what has been going on over the last few months or so.
Yeah, exactly. And we've had some great success. People are able to check out a home from the comfort of their living room. We actually just had a closing on Wednesday from a couple from out west. Bought a house essentially sight unseen. They moved here
insane.
And bought a home in Kennebunk. Yeah, it's pretty wild to think. Just great job by our videographer to get that virtual tour and the photos. And the first time they saw their home was just a day or two before they closed on it.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, we really it was a great experience to see that was possible, and the price point was about $700,000. So to see that people put that trust in their agents and us with the marketing of their home, it was pretty phenomenal all around.
Well, and I think it's easy to sit at home and quarantine if like so many of us have, and not really think about that life is moving on or moving differently for all kinds of people out there, and it's not like moving or trying to sell your house or trying to get a refi. It's not like any of that really changes just because of this pandemic. Life decisions still have to happen.
Yeah, very true. Like we've said to many of our clients, a few things have changed, but their reason for buying or selling or their need hasn't. It's just the circumstances that we're in, and we've got to overuse the word a little bit, but pivot and adapt to it. And it's been fantastic to see how my colleagues, our vendors like photographers, stagers, our colleagues, that co-broke with us to help find a buyer or seller for the properties we have, and then clients to be comfortable and put their trust in that this is the way it's going to be for now. And it's been interesting just to see how we've adapted to that and just accepted it. And what's interesting too is some of this technology has been around for quite a while, maybe 6, 8, 10 years. It's just more that we've embraced it and now forced to use it, and quickly figured out Zoom calls and FaceTime and the Matterport 3D virtual tour, the camera, to just quickly figure it all out in, it's been about 2 months since we were kind of put on the stay at home.
I mean, obviously, most people are going to want to do that walkthrough, but do you see this kind of evolving and changing how you guys do your profession moving forward?
Oh, absolutely. I think people expect to, save time, especially certain pockets of buyers that maybe from out of state or sometimes the brackets of the price bands, the makeup of them and who they are, just to save their time and energy, is to expect they can do some of their homework from the comfort of their living room. I mean, we're seeing a lot of buyers that even in the last few years came to you and knew quite a bit about the property and surroundings before they actually entered the home, before they even met you. That's going to be a bit more so now that they can get photos and a virtual tour and really walk through the property and start to ask even more detailed questions rather than some of the basics. So we're kind of doing the homework for them ahead of time is going to really help. And the people that embrace technology, not only agents but consumers, it's just going to take this industry to a whole nother level.
Even with COVID happening, are houses still going quickly?
It's been amazing. I would say there's less inventory and interest rates are still low, which is driving it. So the houses that are on the market are getting multiple offers, just showing after showing, and because there's less inventory, there's increased demand. So I'd say that there's even still pent up demand. So if people are thinking of selling their home, there's not even a better time than now or soon, because there's that pent up demand, pent up energy, and just like you're excited for baseball or football or whatever sport to start. There's people that are waiting for that property that fits their needs, so that they can jump and take action and purchase it. So people are ready and just simply waiting.
Jeff, if someone were to call with wanting to put a house on the market, or is interested in is interested in buying a house, what are kind of some of the first steps you're going to tell them about what you guys are doing to, other than just the virtual tours, but how you guys are being responsible here during this time?
Yeah. So we're pre-qualifying, asking them all the questions that we normally would, and then heading out to the property with our masks, our gloves, our footies, and visiting them if they're able to, or just simply asking them if they could send us some photos or video of their house if they prefer. We're walking them through that and kind of giving them the ins and the outs to save our time and their time, and make sure that they're really serious about that. And we can also qualify the property via like a market analysis that's priced many homes. So I can give them a rough ballpark prior to visiting, and then we just can sharpen the pencil and make some adjustments as we see it. But that's pretty standard right now. It's just kind of asking those questions up front to save everybody that time and energy to move forward.
With things opening up a little bit here, how do you see kind of the rest of the summer? How do you see it looking?
It's going to be pretty crazy. We know that there's a lot of buyers out there saying, we would buy this if it was available. So we're just trying to uncover what might be coming available, and encouraging sellers that if they do have a property that meets certain criteria, certain price point, certain towns, there are people that do have wish lists that they're looking for property, and we have tons and tons of buyers. It's just really there's not as many sellers as we would have experienced at this time, say last year or 2 years ago. The spring market has always been strong, especially in Maine, and it just slowed up a little bit inventory-wise, not activity-wise. Just not as many houses to sell, and but there are certainly as many buyers as there were, if not before, because we've seen a few houses with 10, 15, 20 offers. So, if we had 19 more, we'd sell them to those people too. only one buyer can buy
That's
a
right.
house. So.
Jeff, I actually just got an email question from Ben, our post officer, our postman in Portland, and he's wondering, what do you think this will have for an effect, the COVID having for effect of the Portland, when you've seen kind of Boston, New York, and some of the other cities further south take the brunt? Do you see this becoming a more desirable area than it already is?
Yeah, I think so. We're seeing, still that demand to come here for, the restaurants, all that Portland's done to develop the waterfront, and time will tell. I think it depends on the property. Multifamilies and folks that were going the Airbnb route might have a little bit of an uncertain time going ahead. Obviously can't speak to what a municipality or the governor might put restrictions on certain things, because in the short term, I think multifamily properties, people that were speculating to rent out Airbnb might see a slowdown that could impact price if people have to put their home on the market and create more inventory, which obviously could lighten the demand. But in the long term, I think Portland's still been insulated and has that, like you said, the people from Boston, New York that would love to be here, retire here, have a second home here. Still very inexpensive, and the affordability is much better than the major cities that were mentioned.
Jeff, before we let you go here, how can people contact you, connect with you, and get the ball rolling?
Yeah, the best is to pick up the phone. Our number is 207-553-2605. That will go over directly to our office. And check us out online at jeffsellsmaine.com. and listen to the radio for our spots, and see us online with our ad with Barbara Corcoran.
Well, you will certainly continue to hear me talk about it. Of course, I got a chance to and the opportunity to work with Jeff and Ben over there just a few years ago, and for buying and selling. I can't think of a worse thing to go through, Jeff, than buying and selling at the same time. So I always say I really appreciate what you guys were able to do, especially from a stress level standpoint. That is not an easy thing to do, and it certainly made it a lot easier.
Yeah, well, we appreciate your business, and thanks. It's moving can be difficult. We try to smooth that over and make it as comfortable and easy as possible.
It's awesome when it's done.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah,
it's the greatest thing to do when you look back and you say like, "Oh man, this is perfect." But it is. There's just a lot. There's just a lot. There's a lot to get through.
Yeah, I mean,
so.
you and your wife have your day-to-day lives, and having a property and the process to go through. But at the end of the day, like you said, you enjoy your home, and the experience has its ups and downs. But in the end, it's all worth it in the end.
Absolutely, and it's always great to really enjoy and trust the people you work with. So I certainly appreciate it as always. And again, Jeff Mateja from Keller, the Mateja Group at Keller Williams Realty. Always appreciate it, Jeff. Look forward to talking to you here in the future.
All right. Thanks, Chris. Have a good night.
Thank you. You too. Once again, Jeff Mateja joining us here tonight. We will take a break. When we return, we will close it out on this Monday edition of the PM Jab. Stick with us.
Brett Baer.
When someone watches the news, they want someone they can trust. Our job